Hey everybody, welcome to our Coach's Corner this week. So last week we talked about part 2 of how to create your own exercise or training plan. I saw you scooting to get down lower. Apparently his head's been cut out. And this week we're going to talk about how to revise our exercise plan to where at the end of, if you made it for a month, at the end of that month, how do you change it up to where you keep making gains with a Z? Yeah?
It's gotta be the Z.
With the Z. I thought it was funny. But anyway, so we're going to talk about that today. I think for a lot of people, it can be confusing to revise it because once you've got it figured out, you're like, what do I do now? So I guess starting out, the best way to revise it is to make sure it met our goals.
Yes. Yep. So if it meets your goals, then your revisions are gonna be very, very minimal.
Okay.
You can maybe just change up the sets and reps. Maybe just change up the order of the exercises. Not the
Okay.
actual exercises themselves if you're doing really good with it.
Oh, okay.
If you're also really comfortable.
Yeah. So when you say doing really good with it, do you mean like you're still making progress?
Correct. Yep. If you're still making the progress, then there's not much of a point in changing it
Okay.
because your body hasn't adapted to it yet. Once your body adapts, you have to change it.
And at that point, we would know it's adapted because we're not getting any stronger or moving it more repetitions.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So if your progress stalls, basically.
Okay, that makes sense. So then let's say it didn't meet my goals. What would I do then?
So if it didn't meet your goals, if it is a strength-related goal, what you'd want to do is you'd want to find a different exercise that would mimic that and do that exercise instead.
Okay.
Probably keep the same reps and set scheme because that's what you're going for that particular movement. So say your squats don't work right, say you're not progressing, just do a safety bar squat. Do
Okay.
some other type of squat, same reps and sets to try to build that up.
Okay. And then, so as they put the exercises in there, I'm just trying to think like you would keep like the same one per body part kind of thing, or would you change it up a little bit?
I would change it up just a little bit. So just a
Okay.
different variation. So if you're doing hammer curls, do like incline hammer curls
Okay.
or decline hammer curls, something different, right?
Yeah. No,
So
that,
it can be the same movement, just hitting it from a slightly different angle.
oh, okay. And that could help also kind of push our muscles and our body into making progress.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, and then let's say like I was able to do 4 days a week last time, but now I have to scale it back to 3 days a week. Would I use the same principles as when we were setting it up?
So going from more to less,
Mm-hmm.
you could do the same thing. It's going to be more of a extended set. So you could, instead of doing the traditional 3-day a week,
Okay.
you could do 3 days, turn it into like a 6-day cycle.
Okay.
So you'd hit those 2 things that day,
Yeah.
and then the next day, and then just kind of roll back over into it all over again. Just instead of keeping it within the same week, just drag it out.
Okay. That makes sense. And then if we went the other way, let's say we started pretty conservatively and then we said, oh, you know what, I have an extra day. How would we change that?
I would probably start off by, obviously you could add in all the stuff that you weren't doing before. So
Yeah.
if you're doing a full body day, you'd want to split it down into what we were talking about last week with the upper body, lower body, or a push-pull type of split right there.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds like it's pretty easy to kind of change things up based on what we need and what we've learned from that first cycle.
Yep. As long as you know what your goals are and have a general idea of how to reach your goals, yes.
Okay. Sometimes I struggle with just finding exercises. I'm usually like, oh, I don't know which exercise to do for this body part, or I've gotten bored with them. Is there a source that you know of that people could look at?
You probably go to bodybuilding.com. That's the fastest,
Yeah.
easiest. They'll have the most basic stuff there. Or you can do the bodybuilding encyclopedia. That'll have a whole bunch there. And then you can also just Google
Yeah.
exercises based off of what you want. So if you want squat exercises or squat variations, you can Google that. And
Okay.
it'll take you to a ton of them.
Yeah. I know we put out our YouTube page that has a bunch of different exercise videos that shows you how to do some of our favorites. So that might be something too.
That would be my first thought.
That was supposed to be his first thought. I set him up and no swing. So that's okay. But alrighty. Well, it sounds like you guys have a lot of information to take away from here. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us. Ryan loves doing programs. We both have been trained very well in them. He is much better than I am. But yeah, so thank you for showing up again for this Coach's Corner, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Like and subscribe.
Bye, guys.